Hello, hello. Welcome to Love and Deep Talk, the podcast where I just get to yap about love and deep space, and that's all I could ever ask for. Welcome, Hunter, to episode 0.2, which is kind of silly because I already have an episode 0, which was kind of the introduction. But then as I was filming some of the other episodes, so a few were like pre-recorded. Um, but as I was doing that, and I guess I shouldn't say filming, it's more just recording. Filming almost makes it sound like I'm so much more official than I actually am. Anyway, uh I realized that there was a lot of what we like to call cat lore um, that I should probably fill everyone in on. So, welcome to 0.2 of the Love and Deep Talk lore. That it's almost like a glossary of terms that you'll need to know going forward as you listen to each episode. But yeah, so I guess this will be a quick short one and not nearly as long as all the other episodes, so which is wonderful. I guess. Anyway, so glossary term number 1. These are not in alphabetical order, I realized, because I don't know. My brain didn't want to do that. So, glossary term number 1 is the rats. Who are they and what do they do? um so this basically started as like an inside joke between me and specifically one friend, and then it's just kind of branched out to another friend. And we do reference the rats a lot, especially with Love and Deepspace, so it's gonna help to know about this so I don't have to explain it in the middle of an episode. The rats are basically it's so weird to explain this. Kind of like we made the joke that whenever I kind of came up with like love and deep space theories, that there initially it started as like a hamster in a wheel, and I made the joke that the hamster like on the wheel in my brain is just like it's the wheel is turning and that hamster is working overtime, and then it extended to rats simply because I like rats, and the next glossary term, which will be rat men, because I like rat men. So, um, yeah, that's what they are. So, a lot of the times when we say take the rats to bed, or the rats need to go to bed, it's usually because if I'm coming up with like a really painful, emotionally damaging love and deep space theory, and we like to blame the rats instead of blaming me. So I guess you could say the rats are kind of like my little creative geniuses that just live in my brain. And initially it started with one rat, and then just became a colony of them as the joke just kept growing. So it's kind of like the episode in SpongeBob where there's a ton of little SpongeBobs in his brain and they're trying to figure out what his name is, but my rats are a lot more efficient like that than that. So yes, those are the rats. So I'm realizing this makes me sound insane. The second term is rat men. If you talk about the rats, you gotta talk about the rat men. And in my notes, I have it in parentheses as it's trademarked. Not really, but it should be. But and then under that, I have in capitals, I was into them before they became a fad. And guess what? That is true. I just really find that funny how that's the note that I put. But yes. So, okay, here's the thing. I don't know if people when I say rat man, I feel like the internet has a different picture of what a rat man is than my picture of a rat man. So, yes, it has to do with like facial features and stuff like that, especially like the teeth, like the front teeth. And it's not like super exaggerated like front teeth or anything like that, but like I don't know, or like the noses, like cute little noses. Um so in like K-pop, this kind of is, I guess, like spurred or like best explained in the lens of K-pop, idols will be like um kind of compared to like mostly facial features wise by um like compared by their facial features to animals. So a lot of the times there's like the bunny kind of look, which is, I say that that's the nice way to say a rat man, but there is a little bit more to a rat man than what meets the eye. So like idols like Minhyuk from B2B or Lino, Jungkook's a little bit more of a mouse to me. Hongjoon's like more squirrel, but he's a rat man. And so Hongjoong from ATEEZ and Jungho from ATEEZ, absolute rat man. I know they like compare him to a bear, and that's very cute, but in my world, he's a rat man. Yes, that is like one part of the rat man, right? Is like the way that they look. And then the other part is like their personality. So sometimes I like to explain this as like a pink flag, where it's like they're not actually a red flag, like they're not toxic. I always make the joke that I like my men toxic. Um, I'm a perfect role model, by the way. But yeah, so I like always make that joke. But then I also say it's more like a pink flag because it's like they're not toxic, they're just stinkers. So a rat man is a stinker. Where they're just very mischievous. Like again, take like in terms of like personality, take like Jungho is like quintessential Ratman personality. Lino is quintessential Ratman personality. Jonghan from 17, quintessential Ratman personality. Oh my god. Lino being from Stray Kids. I realize I didn't say what his group name is, but yeah, so they like to play little pranks. They're very clever. Like, they will use their intelligence to win a game by almost any means necessary. They're little cheaters during a game, and I love that. So the second that Raphael was cheating during Kitty Cups, I was like, "Ooh, he's mine. It's over." That's my rat man. Which I would put Raphael, if I had to, closer to Jonghan, where it's like he's a mouse man. So still in the rodent family, but he's got a rat man personality. But facial features wise, a little bit more mousy. And I like it. I am just a rodent man person, I guess. But yeah, so that is the cat definition of a rat man, which is possibly why it's a fake trademarked, because it is not other people's definition of a rat man, because dang, some rats get a really bad rap and that just makes me sad. Anyway, next glossary term. The next glossary term will be dagi. So you'll hear dagi or dagia, which is basically just a Korean term of endearment. It means like honey. It's usually, or like darling. It's usually used with I would say like in couples, but like you find that a lot of like people who are really close will say it to each other too. Um so between you will meet these hunters in the podcast later. So between me, Lexi, who is Alchemical Kitty, also Alchemical Kitty on Twitch, so you can find him there. But and then M, as well. They like between the three of us, we all say Dakia or Dakia. So sometimes you might hear us referring to each other as that. And I was like, oh, like some people, if they know, they'll know, but other people are gonna have no idea what this is. So I'm like, let's just put it as a glossary term. That's a lot easier. um so the next term, that's pretty much it for that term. Like, not gonna lie. I think that is probably like the only like Korean term that we are going to be using with each other, because we do all like at different levels learn Korean. I think Lexi is the most like consistent with it. Like M being working and being in school like full time, that's a lot harder to be consistent with like a language outside of school. And then For myself, I go between Japanese and Korean because I'm insane, if you haven't noticed already. So, but yeah, and then that, and I just haven't been able to find like a language learning tool that I like really, really enjoy. Anyway, moving on. The next term, this is more of like a project or a thing, but I'm still gonna constitute as a glossary term, is the Love and Deepspace Spotify Playlist and Analysis Project. Ooh, long name. So, this is kind of how like almost all of this started is very early on in playing Love and Deepspace, and I mean very early on. I started playing Love and Deepspace, it's 2025 now, so last year, so 2024 in February. It was literally like a leap year, and it was the last day of February, so the 29th is like when I started playing. Um and then so mostly technically beginning in like March. So in like April, mid to late April, I could go through my document and find out, but I'm not going to right now. I was messaging M, and we're on Discord together, and M did this really adorable thing of making a little playlist of like songs that kind of reminded them of like Love and Deepspace. And I can't remember if they already had like one song in there or if they didn't have a song yet and they just talked about doing this as like a thing. They were like, "Oh, this would be kind of fun." And they showed it to me and I was like, "Oh my god, that would be a ton of fun." Like to find songs that are not part of the game, maybe made before the game, during the game, whatever, but like are not associated with the game, but that really like remind me of like the characters or maybe the plot or the myths or things like that. Like there's like a deeper meaning in it. And yeah, it became its own beast. Because initially I was running through songs. So like the first song, well, the first two songs are technically the same song, it's just different like versions of it. So the first song is Sanctuary, opening by Utada Hikaru. So it's from Kingdom Hearts 2. And then the second song, it's the same song, but it's the ending. So like the opening is a completely different, like almost genre of music, I would say. Compared to the ending. The ending is like soft and like slow and more like it has like piano in it. I am not a music genius. Excuse my music analysis. I'm there for the words. And then the first one is like very more like upbeat and stuff like that. Both great versions. Oh my gosh, it was April 28th, 2024. Wow. So that's when we were like talking about it, and that's when I started making my playlist because I was making it alongside them. And then because that one I was like, oh my god, like this is so Raphael, this is crazy. Just kind of like how he acts throughout like the main story and in the his like 4 and like some of his 5-star memories and like ebb and flow especially. So I was like, whoa, this is so crazy. And this I think was before I had done his miss question mark. Maybe. No, I had done his miss by then. Because his were the first miss that I did. And then because the next song that I had is If East is East and West is West by Satron Paint Samuel. Love that artist. Go give them and Utada Hikaru love. But the that one I was like, oh my god, this is so Xavier. And this is also where the rats were born, by the way. Origin story of the rats. So I was like messaging M and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this relates to that, and this is what he said, and it relates to this lyric, and this is what happened in Shooting Stars that relates to that lyric, and this is like perfect. This is a perfect song for Xavier. And because of the background video when you load into the game where he's looking at all of the like CDs, I was like, I can imagine him playing the song to MC and then almost like trying to like awaken the memories from before, but like because it's kind of like both him and MC, like it starts off as Queen MC, but then now this is how Xavier is in the main story, like that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's how that started. And then that's when the rats came about, was like, oh my god, the rats are too strong. And yeah, now it's like 64 songs deep. And then I even have another playlist that's like potential Love and Deepspace playlist songs, because it's like I look for really like um particular sound and particular lyrics. Like if the sound is really good but the lyrics really don't have anything to do with one of the characters or like the plot, then I'm like, okay, I can't justify putting that in the playlist because there's nothing to analyze. Like the way that I'm going through it is like almost like analyzing poetry. And then if the lyrics are good but the sound is off, there's a few where I'm like, okay, I'll make like a guilty pleasure exception, but then there's others where I'm like, it really just doesn't fit the vibe of the playlist that I'm going for, because I'm going for more like somber music. Yeah, so like some examples of the songs are I Know You by Faye Webster, so good. I link that to Raphael and it makes me cry every time. Not gonna lie. I'm really sad because one of them by Citron Paint Samuel Suture was taken off of the playlist, and that's just rude. I have no idea why. I have Dreams and Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. Let me see, what else do I have? I mean, I have so much. It's ridiculous. When She Loved Me by Sarah McLachlan, because does that song make me cry every time? Yes, it does. La Lune by Billy Martin. So there's like a ton of different songs. Oh my gosh. One of my favorite ones in terms of analysis is Unmade by the first part of the name. It's either Thom or Tom York, Thom, but I'm pretty proud of that analysis. That one was done forever ago. But yeah, so you might hear me like reference that stuff because that like Spotify playlist and like analysis thing, because I was like, I can't just make a playlist and not justify why I'm picking these songs. You know, that's just how wild my brain is. So I was like, so now I have to make an entire document justifying why I picked these songs and doing like almost like mini essays for every song. It's wild. I don't entirely recommend it, but it has been a ton of fun, so I do recommend it. I don't recommend it in terms of it will take over your life. But that's honestly where like a lot of the like notes, like the necessity for having notes came about, because I was like, I got to a certain point where I was like, okay, I've pretty much like used up all the info that I have stored up in my brain. Now it's time to like actually, like, I'm going to have to watch through everything and take notes on it so I can go back into those notes while I'm doing the analysis and be like, it is this line, here's the quote, it's in this specific memory, and that is a 4-star. And then I'm even like cataloging like how you get them, or if they're like permanent or not. Yes, so really crazy. But yeah, so you might hear any of us, like for example, if Lexi or M are on any episodes, you might hear any one of us at any time kind of reference the Love and Deepspace Spotify playlist. So now you know what it is. And yeah, I mean, I like it. It's really cool. I'm proud of it so far. It's not nearly done or anything. I mean, it's 64 songs. Like, that's a lot to go through. And like I said, I got to a point where I was like, okay, I really need to like watch all of the myths, because that's a lot of core lore. And then and then go through like some of the different 5 stars and stuff like that. And it's really hard because they keep coming out with content, and I'm like, please give me a break. It's been a ride. Anyway, next term. So, some things, this is more for people who don't really like know these games. Some games that you kind of might hear me like reference, even just kind of like before starting to do the podcast, like these ones are probably going to be like reoccurring references, so they're kind of like good to know about, would be like Square Enix in general, which is, I mean, they're like a video game creation company. I don't know. I love them so much, but I'm like, what do you call them? They're just a video game company. Okay. They make and distribute games. Woohoo. But you know, for those who know, love you. Great game. Let's talk about it sometime. Which one's your favorite? And why is it Final Fantasy VIII? But oh my gosh. But anyway, so or Kingdom Hearts, another good contender, at least up until Kingdom Hearts 3. Anyway, besides the point. So, yeah, Square Enix does Final Fantasy, and they do Kingdom Hearts, which I will be referencing a lot. Mostly, like, I kind of got, like, into the game, or Love and Deepspace, I would say, caught my attention initially because I was like, wow, these graphics are so, like, Final Fantasy. This is crazy. Like, it looks like Square Enix could have made this game. And I love Square Enix. And then like when I started getting into some of the characters and the stories, I was like, whoa, I'm feeling some Square Enix vibes, and I was so correct. Mostly with Xavier. So I'm just saying. And I love that some people are comparing Xavier to Cloud because it's just like, yeah. I totally see it and I love it. But yeah, so those are some games that you might like hear me reference. In terms of Kingdom Hearts is probably going to be the easiest and not the easiest to explain. It's a lot of crazy lore. But very TLDR, Kingdom Hearts is that like Final Fantasy Disney combo, like fever dream video game that probably would have never been greenlit today, but I'm so happy that it was back in like what, 2001. So let me fact check myself. I'm so curious because I believe Kingdom Hearts 2 was 2005. Kingdom Hearts 1, that was, just tell me the year, 2002. Dang, I'm so close. But yeah, so yeah, I love that it was made. Like, thank you, Tetsuya Nomura. Forever and always. So and Yoko Shimomura. Okay, I knew Shimomura as the composer, not as a designer. But anyway, so this game is the like Final Fantasy Square Enix combo. There's a lot to do with like the power of love and friendship and light versus darkness and finding this place called Kingdom Hearts. And there's a lot, oh my god, there's so much to do with like time travel, body doubles, the Heartless, mostly the Heartless are really reminiscent, or the Wanderers are extremely reminiscent of Heartless. I'm curious if they're gonna do anything with like nobodies, or I don't know, because in one part of the main story it seems like we might be getting something like that, but we'll see. I'm very interested. So yeah, you might hear me make references to Kingdom Hearts because there's a lot of like similarities there. Great game. Great game. But it's on Steam. It's on Epic Game Store. They've remastered the game several times. Highly recommend. There is a lot of games. There is a wacky chronological order to play them. So have fun. Good luck, but most importantly, have fun. So then the next like Square Enix series is Final Fantasy. So Final Fantasy, listen, I had to tell this to M because M was very interested in playing Final Fantasy, but they were terrified because there's so many games in the series. There's like, in terms of main titles, not even sequels or spin-offs or kind of like side games. There's already like 16 right now, and they're definitely working on the 17th. You do not have to play them in order. You don't have to go 1 through 17. That would be wild. Final Fantasy, they're all kind of like their own little adventure until you get into the sequels and some of the spin-offs, but whatever. Don't worry about that. But they're all kind of like contained in their own little world. There's some theories with Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 10, but for the most part, you don't have to play Final Fantasy 12 in order to play Final Fantasy 13. Now, Final Fantasy 13 and Final Fantasy 15 were originally supposed to be kind of connected, but that's a story for another day. Do you see how Square Enix works? They're like kind of confusing. A lot of people say that their games are a little convoluted, but you just got to go in with an open mind and an open heart, and then you'll understand it. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And a lot of YouTube videos, and you'll be good. I promise. It's so worth it. But yeah, so I would say like core games I would be referencing, maybe Final Fantasy X at some point. I could see that. But especially Final Fantasy VII, like with Xavier. And again, it seems like Xavier's really inspired by Square Enix games, so makes sense. Curious if Final Fantasy VIII is gonna come up at some point. I really think it will. I really think it will. Maybe with Caleb. Oh, that's crazy. Anyway, so yeah, Final Fantasy is good to know about. Each story is like its own thing, so it can be kind of hard to do something where it's like you get all the knowledge beforehand before coming into the episodes. And then stepping into it, it will be one of those things where I will just walk you through it as much as I can. And then you can look it up later. Don't even worry about it. But yeah, and then I would say like other games for our little glossary terms section, uh, would be like, I do reference some otome games, or like, I kind of highly doubt that if you're playing Love and Deepspace that you don't really know what an otome game is. Um, just because it is an otome game, and I feel like people who don't know about otome beforehand, like they come into Love and Deepspace and then they kind of naturally find out what an otome is. But there might be a few other otome games that I'll mention. One of them, for example, might be Ikemen Sengoku, by Cyber question mark. You can check. I fact checked myself in the middle of this. This is so funny. But that one is a mobile game. I'm trying to figure out who it is. Cyber. Dang, I'm so good at this. I'm such a genius. Anyway, so that one might be referenced. There were a lot of other otome games that I used to play as like a kid, not like a kid, but like a teenager and early adult, like early 20s. So I might reference some of those. Some of them I don't remember the name of, some of them I do. But yeah, Ikemen Sengoku is probably the biggest one that I'm going to mention because I had started playing it in like 2018, and then I took a break from it, and then I actually started. I had like periods of playing, and now I'm not playing it, and then now I'm kind of sort of playing it again. I was on it for like a good like few months, and then I'm like on another break with it. But yeah, so great game. But this, in terms of referencing like otome games, so those like romance simulation games that are super popular in Japan and now like globally, I might reference this one the most, just because I had been getting back into it. It's a great game, really fun game, but if you think that you feel like you have to pay money for Love and Deepspace, you have no idea what that means. You have no idea how bad it could be. Or, my god, I think it's called Destiny Ninja? Yeah, no, that one's worse. That one's awful. But anyway, that is, oh my god, yes. Shall we date Destiny Ninja? No. I'm pretty sure it was this one. Oof. That one. Oof. But yeah, so there might be like other Ultimate games that I reference. The biggest one to know is in general what an Ultimate game is, which again is just a romance simulation game. There's a real like style and formula in which they're done, and then they're very different from mobile game to console game. But that's not like super important for the means of this episode. There will be an episode about that at some point in the future, which I think will be a really fun episode. So yeah, there's console versions and mobile versions. And then I guess with console will come with PC, but most of the ones that are on console go on PC, blah blah blah. So on and so forth. But mobile game ones, that's where it's at. But anyway, so it's good to know what that is in general. So it's just a dating simulation game. And then Ikemen and Goku is one that like you'll probably hear me reference sometimes, because again, that's the one that I'm getting like more back into and stuff like that. And I have a ton of experience with that game, as well as like some of the other ones. But it's been so long since I've played them that I'll remember what they're about, but I won't necessarily remember their name. But yeah, so in terms of glossary terms, I think that's pretty much it. Because anything else that's gonna have to do with Love and Deepspace, and you, by playing the game, you'll know what those things are. Oh, wait, actually, yes, there's two things that I should probably mention. It goes under the blanket of my mispronunciations. um, I'm preparing you for this now so that you can laugh at me now and not later. So, you will probably hear me say this and hear the doggies make fun of me. Not make fun of me in a bad way, but laugh at me, which is so fair. Is sometimes when I read things and like if it's an immediately like unfamiliar word, like, and I'm reading fast or I'm trying to get through something, I will just like make up something. So, for example, when reading Silas's chapters, when he came out, everything to do with On a Kindness, I accidentally named it On a Crisis because my brain just did not want to read the word correctly. So, I will probably call it On a Crisis. You know what it means now. Sorry, Silas. Oh my god. The second thing is less funny. The I think they're called stalactum, whatever. The little color crystals for battles in Love and Deepspace. I call them stellacrellums. So that's not a word, but it is now. It's a podcast exclusive word. Yeah. So anyway, those are good to know too. But yeah, so slide that under my ridiculous mispronunciations. And you're good to go. You are this was your orientation, your hunter orientation for Love and Deep Talk. So proud of you. Yay, you made it through. Thanks for listening to me chit chat and ramble and everything. And I hope you enjoy the episodes to come. And it will be fun, glorious, spectacular. I hope you laugh. You may cry at some analysis, but that's okay. Don't worry about that. Still stay around. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for listening to this little 0.2 episode of Love and Deep Talk. Love and Deep Talk lore, I think is what I'm going to call it. And yeah, this is basically all the cat lore that you need to know about in order to get the most out of this podcast, I guess. But yes, catch me on Twitch at streamikitti. I will put it in this little episode's description, but in case it like cuts it off or anything, it's streamikitti on Twitch, and I stream super out of the blue. So, you know, if you miss one, don't feel bad. I just stream when I want to. I'm a creature of the wild. And yeah, I hope you look forward to the episodes to come. So have a good rest of your day. Pool for your man. Get good pools. get your dailies done and get your weeklies done and go get your man.